Welcome back, everyone, to the Electric Coaches channel. As you can see, my board is cleared off from the last video that I had done depicting old school electric football figures, right? I've done my inventory, so all the figures that you have seen on the table here are been put away. And while I was doing that, of course, I was sculpting figures. So I showed a figure on Facebook to the electric football community, and it's a figure of a Dallas Cowboy that I'm working on. I'm gonna work on a team of Dallas Cowboys also. All right, and before I get started going any further with this video, I'm a Philadelphia Eagle fan. So on Facebook, I clown, Dallas Cowboy fans from time to time. That's just what Eagle fans do. All right, but I'm an electric football hobbyist. So all 32 teams from the NFL, college teams, I can make any of those teams whenever I feel like it. Right? I'm also, as a traditionalist, as an electric football traditionalist, my personal tradition, I have a team. I always keep a team of electric football Eagles and electric football Cowboys. All right. So this is in no way, I'm not like contradicting myself in any way. All right. So all you Cowboy fans out there who know me, don't think because I'm doing this about a Cowboy that I secretly am a Cowboy fan. I'm not. So now let's move on. This is the figure that I'm working on right now. This is a running back figure. And I got some pictures, some close-ups I want to show you. This figure is going to be my Ezekiel Elliott figure. And this figure is a game day figure, by the way. All right. And I took the figure out the bag from when I first received them. Antonio from Game Day sent me some figures. And I began my sculpt modification on the figure. All right. The figure is pretty much put together. I did some priming work on it. I got the white jersey painted already. I use white primer, so the white jersey, you don't see it. But when I get close, when I move in closer with my pictures, you will. I put the complexion on, and I painted the gloves and the shoes. So I basically have a foundation now to begin applying the full uniform with the decals. The decals, I'm going to apply those later in another video. This video here, I'm going to do a little bit of painting for you. I'm going to show you my approach to how I paint a figure. And another reason why I'm doing these Dallas Cowboys is because they have intriguing colors. The colors in their pants. All right. And I want to show you my approach to capturing those colors that they have in their silver pants. All right. So before I start painting, before I start actually putting this uniform on, and before I even consider applying any decals, I gotta first run test this figure. So I have here already a base that I tweaked. This base is one of ITZ's clear Formula 37 bases. All right. It's Formula 37 because it's a ratio of resin and silicone. It's I believe the balance is 63% silicone and 37% resin. That's the balance of it. Or is it the other way around? I got to talk to ITZ again about those numbers. But this is the Formula 37 base. The Formula 37 bases are the softer plastic bases. Then you got the Formula 55s and the Formula 100s, which are the more firmer bases. Well, anyway, I want to run test this figure, all right? We want to see how balanced it is, you know, because if the figure is out of balance, then there's no point in going any further. We got to like get this figure balanced first, and then we'll be able to move on. Let's see what we got. Okay, it moves well. Now this base, it loops a little bit. I tweaked this base not for a particular figure. I'm not going to spend too much. I'm not going to spend any, too much time in this video tweaking a base. I really want to get to painting it and showing you the pictures of this base of this figure close up. Run it one more time. See what we got. Okay, it's a good look. The base moves, the figure moves well on a base. I want to show you something real quick. Here's a different figure on a different base, right? This is one of my defensive, one of my safeties or DBs. It's a buzzball figure, by the way. All right, sculpt on the buzzball figure. Let's put this guy on the table. And let's back off the camera a little bit. I'm gonna run this guy. I want to show you something. See, it runs okay, right? It wobbles a little bit. It leans forward a little bit because of the nature of this pose. This is really an experimental figure, by the way. I'm going to take this same base off this guy. Move it in for you. I'm going to take this base off of this guy, and I'm going to put it on the Ezekiel Elliott figure, and we're going to test it out and see how it runs. So this is a Formula 37 clear base, right? We're going to set that off to the side here. And this green base, by the way, is also Formula 37 as well. All right. So let's make sure this base holds on. All right. So we're going to move this clear base away. And for the meantime, we're going to set it on our defensive back pose. And now, you remember how the base ran on the defensive back figure, right? Let's watch it run on the Ezekiel Elliott figure. You see that? Now, I'm using this as a teachable moment. Here you have two different poses, right? As a matter of fact, let's run this base. This was the base that was on the Ezekiel Elliott figure, right? Let's run it real quick. That base really flies on this guy. This guy can run on both bases, but the Ezekiel Elliott figure can't run on this green base. And the reason why, and this is for this is for people outside the hobby. People inside, people who play this game, you know what the deal is. The pose has a major effect on how the base performs. For starters, Ezekiel Elliott pose it's balanced on one leg. The other leg is up. Also, when I show you the pictures, you're gonna see it even more. Notice how the running back pose has a slight lean to the left. His hips is leaned to the left. I put a turn on the torso, see? And because of that, this figure, when it runs on that green base, let's back it up. When this figure runs on this green base, which we previously saw run on the defensive back figure, right? This base on this Ezekiel Elliott figure, it doesn't run well because of its pose. So I can use this clear base, right? This clear base would be a better base for the Ezekiel Elliott figure than this green one is. But I might end up tweaking another base entirely for this Ezekiel Elliott figure. All right. So that's the little point I wanted to get across to you guys out there, to the fans out there outside of this electric football community. So now we're gonna put this clear base back on the Ezekiel Elliott figure, And we're going to take this green base and we're going to put it back on our defensive back. All right, we're going to put him off to the side right here. All right. Run him real quick. He's got way better movement running on that clear base. Okay. Now, so the next thing I got to do before we get into painting this figure, you got to break out the scale. Set that right there. We're going to turn our scale on. Let's zoom it in. Zoom it in. All right. So now we have the Ezekiel Elliott pose on an ITZ Formula 37 clear base. Set them on the scale. And the figure and base comes in at exactly 4.0. It may bounce to 0.01. That right there, my friends, is too heavy. Now, in the TOC, Tournament of Champions, the rule set is your figure and base combined with the decals and the paint, it cannot be heavier than 4 grams. So you say, well, that clear base that you said runs good, the figure can't be in the tournament, right? And you're correct, it can't. So what I'm going to end up doing, I'm going to take that clear base and I'm going to modify it to look like this one. I'm going to cut the center portion of that base out and drop the weight down. Let me bring that green base back up because it shows up better in the camera. And you see the bottom of the underside of the green base? I'm going to cut out that center piece in there. That's the center of this base, and I'm going to hollow it out. And that's going to drop that base and figure down to a weight of about 3.87. Then when I put the decals on and the rest of the paint, it should bring me up to about 3.92 probably. And my figure and base will be within specifications. Or I could perhaps go to a different kind of base. This is a package of Formula 55 bases. This base is a dial base. These are called, these are nicknamed the bullet bases because of their shape, right? All right, because of their shape. Back it off a little bit. Nicknamed bullet bases because of their shape, right? Or bullet bases or boat bases, right? We're gonna put this on. We're gonna put this base on the Ezekiel Elliott figure, and we're gonna weigh it and see what can we do with this one. And that base too that base is a little bit heavy. That one bounces to, but that's 4.01, the same as this base. All right, so. And this base doesn't really leave a lot of room for modification. So guess what? This base is not going to go on this Ezekiel Elliott figure. So we're going to put this base back in the bag. All right, so that's Formula 55. But anyway, we'll turn the scale off. So we know what we got to do in regards to weight specifications. We're going to have to modify this type of base to get it to fit on this figure. All right. So now let's go over to the computer. I'm going to switch you over to the computer. We're going to look at some pictures of this figure close up. All right. Let's see. Now, when I first got the figure comes from Game Day. I'm going to pull this picture up right here. Now you see the figure on the right? This figure right here, that's how the figure looks when it first comes out the bag. When I get it out of the mail and I open the bag up, that's how it looks. All right? And Antonio does a great job of molding his figures. He produces a great product. So I take that same figure. If you look at the figure on the left, I hollow out the figure, because you see the figure on the left has no head, right? It's got no head, no arms. The only thing that's the same right now are the legs. I don't change the legs, keep the legs as they are, right? This is what I call a sculpt modification. And you see the torso has got what appears to be rocks on it. That's clay. So I add clay to the figure, right? I hollow the inside of the figure out using a Dremel tool. Also cut the torso, separate from the legs, take the head off, as you can see, right? This is how I start my sculpt, all right? And I allow this to dry, right? So this is what the figure looks like on the right. What the figure is when I first get it out the bag, and the figure on the left is how I start my sculpt modification. Close that out. We're gonna go to this one. Now, the figure you just saw on the table that we ran, right, is the figure in the middle. That guy. I intend for this figure to be my Ezekiel Elliott electric football figure. All right. Now you're looking at the figure on the left. All right, for people who watch football, you understand football. You're saying, well, Ezekiel Elliott's on the left. True. That's true. Well, the Ezekiel Elliott figure on the left is what the original figure looks like after I paint it. The figure on the left is not a sculpted, modified figure. It's not. It's the painted figure of the figure on the right. The figure on the right, again, is how it looks when it comes out the bag, right? All I have to do with that figure is Dremel the holes to insert the arms, where I can glue and insert the arms. I keep the head and then glue the figure to a platform. And then once all that's dry, I paint the figure and decal it, and this is what you get. So some of you say, well, what's wrong? Well, why not just keep it like that? Save yourself the work. Why do all the extra work? This hobby is a labor of love. I love the idea of taking a piece of plastic or something and changing it and making it do something else, making it look like something else. And that's what this hobby provides. All right? So, the figure you see in the middle is the figure you saw on the table that we weighed and that we test ran on the base. And we're going to take that figure here in the middle, and we're going to paint it to look like the figure on the left. Except, as you can see, you look at the head, right? The helmet is different. And the shoulders, the torso is broader. The figure is also a little bit taller. See, I added some girth to the figure. All right, I put my own artistic touch on the figure. See, with a Dremel tool, you can work magic. You can take things apart, cut stuff up, build it back up. Put some putty on it, let it dry, and you can shape it to be whatever else you want it to be. And that's what I did with this figure here. And I'm gonna do a whole team. I got a whole team of you saw in the previous video my 49er figure, the George Kittle, and the DK Metcalf figure. They all showed up like this. Plain figure out the bag, sculpt modification, and voila. Okay, let's clear this out. All right. This is a side view of the figure. All right, the figure in the middle is the guy you saw on the table. All right. Let's do a back side. There it is. Ezekiel Elliott, Middle figure is the figure you saw on the table. Close that one. Now I'm gonna show you what the figure looked like when it's painted, when it's primed. I'm gonna bring you to this piece here. Now this is the front, the face of the figure. I put the figure under a microscope, took a picture of it, and this is what it looks like. As you can see, the helmet is still white, and the body, the shoulders is still white, but I painted the complexion here on the face and the neck. All right, because this is what sculpting gives you. Sculpting allows you room to put those extra nuances, those extra pieces on the figure, such as, painting a neck on the figure. You know how you see a football player's neck shows through the shoulder pads, and sometimes the back of the neck shows from behind the helmet? Well, sculpting gives you the room to do that. All right. Now, when you look at this, the face here, you'll see that I got some little flaws here. Got some complexion showing up on the side, on the helmet, and right here. It's kind of choppy a little bit. So I took the figure down and I re-primed the face in an effort to sharpen, to clean up those little flaws right there. All right, here's another image of the face, again, closer up. You see those flaws. Because I used two paints here. I used a primer, a brown primer, and the top coat to get the complexion here. And I didn't cover the that bottom coat of brown primer. That's basically what that is. Now, to the naked eye, you wouldn't see that, but when I put it under the microscope and see the details, I get this. All right. So I took the piece down and went back to to my workbench, and I primed the face again. Put a whole new coat of white primer on the face, covered up all the brown, right, in an effort to, get a second chance at cleaning up those edges that you saw where the brown primer was showing up. All right. We're going to get to painting this figure in a moment, but I want to give you this, this background here. Okay. Let's close this out. Okay. Now, so I painted the face again. Now, I got one color of brown showing, but you still see the edges right here, right? Where the brown is on a portion of, the brown is touching the helmet. No problem. Because when I paint the helmet silver, which I'm going to show you momentarily, I'm going to clean up those edges as I paint. Okay? I'm going to take another picture of the figure under the microscope, and I'm going to bring it back to you, and I'm going to show it to you, right? That's what we're going to do here today. We're going to paint, show, until we get the whole uniform painted. All right? No, we're not going to decal today. That's a different video. All right? Let's clear this out. Let's go to this picture here. Now here's a picture of the neck. And you see this is the back of the helmet. And you see the complexion right here in this area. See, by adding the clay and using the Dremel tool to carve out that space, I was able to put brown paint for the complexion in that area. Now, when you see the figure, if you saw the figure live, that groove wouldn't be as big as it looks here on the in this video. All right, this is a magnified, picture. All right. Close this one out, clear it out. Let's get this one. Okay, this is another picture of the other side of the neck. Little flaw right here. I'm going to clean that up too. When I start doing the helmet, I'm going to clean that up. All right. Now, to the naked eye, you wouldn't see that. Oh, and by the way, this face right here, we're going to as we build the figure, when I decal the figure, I'm going to put a face shield over this portion of the figure's face, because the real Ezekiel Elliott, he has a face shield in his helmet. Yes, we have face shields. We got decals for numbers and the symbol, and we also have the little visor for the face mask. We're going to put that on too, but we're not going to do it in this video. All right, I'm going to show that to you in a different video. Let's close this out, and let's see. Here is the torso of the figure. There, the number 21, the decal for 21 is going to go there, and the NFL emblem is going to be in the neck, right? Little stars in there, and then the Cowboy's name is going to go across there like that. The decal is going to cover that. Excuse my art. All right. Here we go. Here's the top view of the figure. It's the top of the helmet, and when you look down on it, you see the complexion showing past the from between the shoulder pads and the side of the helmet. All right. Let's see if we get the other one here. Here's the other top view. All right. So we're going to have a number 21 on the shoulders, and the name tape right here on the back, Elliott. Also, the helmet is going to have the helmet stripe here, and the Cowboys chap on the back of the helmet, and the Dallas star over here and over there. I should have shown that on the side picture, but you get the idea. All right, clear that out. Okay, so yeah, those are the pictures of the Ezekiel Elliott pose. So what we're going to do next, we're going to come back over to the game board. Just a moment. Have you on that picture here, because I got to change a few things, set a few things up on the on this game board here. Now, normally in this area of the my room here, I don't do paint work, but for the sake of the camera, I want to do everything. I'm going to do all my paint work, or some of my paint work, here on this game table here. Just give me a moment. I'm setting things in place. All right. I'll put this over here. Here. Right. Okay. I think I'm ready now. Okay. Now here we are at the game table. Let me adjust the camera a little bit. Widen the shot. I'm gonna slide this down some. Now, you see a pail of water here, right? The board is not plugged in. I unplugged the board while I was at it. Back when I was a kid, we wanted to play in the rain. So we put a little bit of water on the board, and we was buzzing the board while water was shaking on the board. That was a rain game. Fortunately, nobody got electrocuted. But that's another story. That was a long time ago in my youth. But you should never have water by the electric near an electric unit or anything, microwave, coffee maker, electric shaver, what have you. Okay. All right. So here I have two paints. What we're gonna do, we're gonna paint the helmet first. We're going to apply the silver helmet we're going to apply the silver paint to the helmet first. And also need a paper towel, so we'll put that right there. I'll wipe my brush off on the paper towel. All right. So we're going to put the silver paint on the helmet. And I'm going to do the details off camera. So I need to be in close to get the paint where it needs to be. But for the most part, I'm going to paint a broad portion of the helmet so you can see it. Now, I got two paints here. I have a bottle of Testors. This is called Testor. This is Testor Silver. And the bottle number is 1146. We're going to put that's a base coat on the helmet. And I have a bottle of paint by a company called Fast Color. And this paint is called Pearl White. So some of you are always saying, well, cowboys wear silver in the helmet. There is no white. This white paint is a transparent white paint. And it gives the silver paint that I have here a little bit of luster. It lightens the silver and brightens it too. So because the silver paint by itself, it's a little bit too dark for my taste. All right, I want the silver to be a little bit brighter on this cowboy's helmet. All right, so I already stirred this paint. So we're gonna open the cap up and we're gonna keep it right here on this board here, little cardboard board here, so as not to, if we make a mistake and spill anything, we won't get it on our playing surface. All right, I have my brush. I'm gonna take a little bit of this paint off of this edge right here. All right, I'm gonna start applying silver paint to this helmet. Now again, I'm not going to do the whole helmet here because there's some details I got to reach. And there's still some more little edge work that I have to do to get this helmet to look the way that I need for it to look. Okay. We don't want to get too carried away. All right. So now I'm going to put that down for a moment. Take my paper towel, wipe off this brush, dip in a little bit of water here. Now we're going to use the same brush with this silver paint, right? With that white, that pearl white. All right. Okay. We'll put our brush down, grab our paint, close off this cap. Put it right there. Now, that's the first coat of silver. Again, I still have to paint the whole helmet. I'm going to do that offline, and I'll be right back. Okay, everybody, I'm back, and I put the silver on the helmet. All right, let me show you a close-up. Switch over to the computer. Okay, there it is. I got the helmet painted silver. Now, I could stop it right there and leave the paint just like that. Let's look at another picture here. Different view. All right. That's the side view. All right. Let's get another one. And that's the back. Okay, so again, I can leave the helmet as is, keep it silver, keep it moving, but I'm going to add another layer to that helmet, and this is where this Fast Color pearl, this is called Pearl White, comes in. I'm going to use that. I'm going to put that coat on top of that silver, and that's going to brighten that silver up a little bit. It's going to give it a little more luster. All right. So I'm going to use the same brush that I used with the silver. I cleaned it off a little bit. And this paint is water based. So to mix it, I can shake it a little bit. Shake it up a little bit. Now some people will say it's not good to shake your paint. but I find it's not bad with these types of water-based paints. I digress for a moment, but your thicker paints like your Model Master paint. By the way, I have a bottle here. This paint, you can't just shake it, you gotta stir this paint. But that's another subject, I digress. Okay, back to the fast color. I'm gonna shake it a little bit. Open up the cap, set it right there. Now because this bottle is tall, I don't want this sitting up here, because this can easily be knocked down. So I'm gonna set it down over here on one of my sidelines, over there on the turf. All right. So I got the cap, got the figure. Gonna dabble a little bit in here. The silver paint is dry, by the way. And I'm gonna put some of that on. And this color, you're really gonna, I definitely have to show it to you close up, because this white pearl is, this pearl white is kind of transparent. All right. So the details, I won't be able to stand here and do them. I'm gonna have to go back to take the figure back to the workbench and do the detail work. But as you can see here, got a little bit of that white silver on there. All right, let's get our bottle back and put the cap back on. Put the cap back on. Set it right there. Okay, so I'm gonna wipe this off. Always keep a paper towel. Right, set that there. Put a little bit, clean the brush off in the water here. I have a second brush here for the pants, but we're not gonna leave right now because I'm going to apply some paint for the pants. I'm going to do that right here. And by the way, I'm not wearing them now, but you want to get a pair of these goggles to help bring you in a little bit closer. Not as close as the microscope. I never paint under the microscope. I use the microscope for instructional purposes only, okay? Yeah, while I'm at it, I'm going to show you something here real quick. Here I got a box of figures, and in it, remember I said earlier in the video, I always keep a team of Eagles and a team of Cowboys. Here is one of my Eagles here, number 62. He's the center for the Eagles, Kelsey. Yeah. My Eagle running back, one of my Eagle running backs, is number 24, Howard. Got him here. I got Bart Scott down here somewhere. Yeah, Zach Ertz just got traded. Well, this was my Zach Ertz tight end figure. All right. And in here are some Haiti Repro Cowboys I had. I still got them, but here they are right here. All right. So this team of Cowboys is going to be redone. And my Eagles, I'm adding more players to my Eagles. All right. Just a little something there to show you that I'm about what I say. I'm an Eagle fan. All right, but I always keep a team of Eagles and Cowboys. That's one of my traditions as an electric football hobbyist. I've been doing that. I've been that way since I was a kid. All right. So now, on to these pants. We still got to finish that last coat of pearl white on the helmet. But since we're here, we're gonna put a coat of paint on the pants, and then go to the workbench and do the finishing touches and take a picture of the figure under the microscope, show it to you, okay? Now, we're going to do 3 layers on the pants, all right? So, let me get my paint here. Let's move this out of the way. Let me switch you back over to the picture here. That's the helmet. While I move things around on the workbench here, on the table, wanted to get my first ball of paint out for the pants. Okay, let's put these goggles away. right? Okay, we're back at the game board. Now I have another bottle of paint. This paint is by Vallejo. And this is the first coat of paint I'm going to put down for my pants. I'm going to put three types of paint on my pants to get that ice blue silver color. And this paint is called Patina Verdin. It's 70.832. That's the number from the number of this paint from Vallejo. And this paint, unlike other paints, when you open the cap, it's a squeeze top. So you really can't put no stirrer in there and stir the paint. So I shake that bottle too. All right. And the way that I get that paint out of the bottle and onto my brush, right? I could use a little cup, but I don't like doing that because it leaves paint left over. I like taking my paint straight out the bottle. I squeeze a little bit of paint onto the brush like that. You see right there. And I start applying it to the figure. I'm putting this on the legs here. This paint is kind of thin. I mean, it's not thin, but it's a little thick. So this is enough to go around the figure, all the way around the figure. All right. I'll show you this figure momentarily with the helmet done and this first coat of paint. This first coat of paint on the pants. All right. The sock tops I always do the sock tops after I complete the pants. Because sometimes when you paint, as you paint the pants, you may have a little bit of paint run down the leg, not run down the leg, but your brush may get on the calf of the figure where the sock top's supposed to go. All right. Okay, let me put this brush down right here. Your clothes can show you a little bit. This paint is kind of light, so you're not going to see it. You're not going to see it too well in the camera. Now, again, I'm going to put it under the microscope and bring it to you closer. So look, I'm going to go offline and I'm going to do the details of this helmet and the pants, and I'm going to come back with the picture of the microscope under the microscope. Okay. All right. I'll be back. Okay, I'm done painting the helmet on this figure. I applied both coats of paint on the helmet. I put the silver paint as the first coat and the pearl white as the second coat. I'm going to take you over to the computer and I'm going to show you the difference between those paints. All right. So we're going to move over to the computer now. And if you look at the picture on the left, this is the helmet with just the silver paint. Okay? And the picture on the right is the helmet with the white pearl coating on top of the silver. And if you look, you'll see, I believe you can see it, that the helmet on the right is a little bit brighter than the helmet on the left. The white pearl coating brought out the sheen in the silver, in my opinion. All right? But the one thing I did lose though, like if you look right here on the top of this helmet, on the helmet on the left, the Revolution helmet has that indent at the top of the helmet. But when I put the coat of paint, when I put the coat of white pearl on top of that, the helmet on the right, it covered that little indentation in the helmet. Not a big deal, but I just happened to notice that when I put the figure under the microscope. I also did the pants of the figure. I laid the first coat of paint for the pants. Okay, we're gonna close these two pictures out. We're gonna bring up the pants. But before I do that, let me remind you. Let me show you the old Ezekiel, my first Ezekiel Elliott figure. All right. Now remember the figure on the left? That was my original Ezekiel Elliott figure. Look at the pants. You see that ice blue type of color? Well, that's my vision of the cowboy's pants in present time. Okay. And the way I got that color was I laid this first coat of that Vallejo paint that I showed you. Let's go back to the table real quick. Remember the Vallejo paint that I talked about? It's called Patina Verdin. Well, this paint is the first coat of paint on the pants of this figure. And that's the pants close up. All right. Let's pull up another pants picture here. That's the side of the thigh. And the blue sock top is going to go right here. I'm going to put that on last after I do all the coats of paint for the pants. All right. Because if you look close, you'll see there's a little bit of paint right here on the calf. All right. So I'm going to do some touch-up work around there to clean that area up before I put the sock top on. And I'm going to do that offline, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you a complete sock top. And again, I'll put that under the microscope as well, and you'll see how the sock top and the pants all come together. All right. Let's clear this out. This is the back of the pants, the seat. And again, right here, that's where the blue sock top will go, right about in there. All right, we're going to put that on last. I'm going to close that. And while I'm here, let me show you another shot of this helmet with the silver paint. Now this is the side of the helmet with the white silver with the white pearl. All right, so it's the silver and the white pearl. While I'm at it, all right, I think that's the color that I want. It's brighter. It's a little bit brighter. And here's a back picture of the helmet. All right, close that. Okay, back to game table. So now, the next layer of paint that I gotta put on. Let's move these two paints out of here. These are the paints I use for helmet. So we'll put this over here. All right. So the next layer of paint I'm gonna put on top of this Vallejo that I laid down first, right? I'm gonna put next. I'm gonna use Craft Smart. This is called Blue Ice Pearl. All right. This paint is very inexpensive. It's like, I think I paid about $1 for this bottle. All right. I got it at Michael's. All right. Well, the Vallejo was about $2.50, I believe it was. So we're gonna lay this Craft Smart, a layer of this Craft Smart on top of this Vallejo paint here on the pants. All right. Now, keep in mind, before you put these layers of paint on, you have to allow each layer to dry before you go to the next layer. All right. So while I was offline, I was allowing this paint to dry. All right. So now these pants are dry now. I can rub my finger on it. It's dry to the touch. The helmet's dry. Okay. I now can put my my next layer on. I have my paper towel, and I'm going to take my Craft Smart. This is water-based paint, so you can shake it. You know, cap is on good, right? Always hold it like this. So I shake it. Move the figure out of the way. We're gonna put the cap down right there, like that. Because it's a tall, lean bottle, we only want this standing up. We're gonna put it on the sideline over there. I'll take my this brush right here. It's the same brush that I use with the green, that Vallejo paint right there. And we're gonna get a little bit of paint out of this cap. And we're going to apply this blue pearl paint on top of this Vallejo paint. So again, I'm going to go offline and I'm going to finish these pants. I'm going to take a picture of this. I'm going to come back and show it to you. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back from applying my second coat of paint to the pants of my new Ezekiel Elliott figure. And that second coat of paint was this Blue Ice Pearl by Craft Smart. All right, I'm gonna take you over to the computer and give you a close-up look of this paint that I applied. Stand by. Here we are. And you see the image on the left is the Vallejo paint. That's the first coat of paint that was applied. All right. And then the image on the right is the blue ice paint on top of the Vallejo paint. And you see the difference. The blue ice is now bringing out that blue shine. Blue ice, right? So now we got one more coat of paint to put on top of that. So both coats of paint are dry. And again, you have to allow each layer of paint to dry first before you go to the next layer. You can't just put the paint on top while it's still wet. It's not going to give you the same effect. So now we're going to go back over to the game table, and we're going to apply our third coat of paint. And as before, we're going to put the figure under a microscope and show you the difference. Okay? So the third coat of paint is another color of paint from Fast Color. This paint is called Fast Change Blue. Okay? You look at the bottle, this paint is almost like an eggshell white. But what this paint does is it changes blue depending on how the light hits it. So you'll see clear, and then if you turn the figure in the light, it'll fade. It'll give you a little flashes of blue. All right. So we're going to apply this color, this third color. Shake it up a little bit. I got a little bit in the cap, and again, I'm just going to do a little bit here, and then I'm going to take the figure over to the workbench, and I'm going to finish it. All right. So I have a little bit in the cap. I dip my brush in there, and we got the bottle sitting on the sideline over there. And we're going to start applying a little bit of this change blue. Okay. Go a little bit around. We're also going to do some touch-up work also when we get this paint dried, because when you look at the last picture, switch back over real quick. Like if you look at the second picture on the right, and you look at the waistline, you see a little bit of the paint, a little bit of the blue paint is on the white jersey. So I'm gonna, when I get my pants completely done, I'm gonna take a little bit of white using a very thin brush, and I'm gonna go in there and clean up that blue paint a little bit. Try to get a cleaner look around the waistline. All right. So let's come back to the table. Did a little bit more painting here, but I still gotta go to the workbench and sit down and finish doing the fine tuning on this on these pants. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and I'm done painting the figure. As you can see, I got the sock tops done too while I was at it. I put that third coat of paint, the change blue on the pants, and while I was doing that, I did the sock tops. So the figure here on the left is my first Ezekiel Elliott, and the figure on the right is becoming my new Ezekiel Elliott. So let me take you over to the computer, and I want to show you how the pants turned out after I put the third coat of paint on. All right, now you see the image on the left. That image is with the first two coats of paint. With the Vallejo paint is the first coat, and then the second coat was the blue ice pearl from Craftsmart. And then the image on the right is with all three paints, right? The last paint being the changed blue color. And you see the sock tops are done. Okay, and you don't, when you look at it, you don't see much difference. But that changed blue, it looks different to the naked eye. See, the microscope, because that changed blue is transparent, the microscope is looking right through it. So it looked like the changed blue paint wasn't even put on the pants. But if you see the figure, if you saw the figure live, matter of fact, let's see how the closest I can get to you live right now is to show you the figure standing side by side with the first Ezekiel Elliott. Okay, there it is. Now when you look at the pants, you see how they look just like the first Ezekiel Elliott figure. And that's the goal. That's the thing I was shooting for right there. So we're well on our way to completing this figure. Let's go to the next image. See what we got. Let's close this one out. Let's go to number 2. All right. Okay. So the next step now is to put the decal on this figure. The decals are going to be done. It's going to be done in the next video. I'm not going to do it in this one because we don't want the video to be too long. So that's the side-by-side view. Let's go here. Look at it from the rear. So yeah, this figure is coming along. So the next step is to take a decal sheet right here, start applying the stripes on the pants leg and the helmet emblem, the star, the jersey number, what have you. So that's all for this video. I hope that you've gotten something out of it. Because every time I do something here, I enjoy what I do, and it's my pleasure to share with you my electric football experience. And I hope that my sharing this with you is enjoyable to you as it is to me. I'm Mo. Thanks for watching.